everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video today I'm going to show you how to create this Lady Liberty mask from the new Purge film. If you're not aware, I do have a Purge mini-series here on my channel, so don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date. If you'd like to see how to make this, then please keep on watching. I'm going to start with blocking out my brows using a non-toxic glue stick. I'm going to run that through my brow hairs and then firmly push them and brush them up so they sit flat to my face. I'm then going to let the glue dry and repeat this step about 4 or 5 times to layer up the glue to give it a nice flat surface. Then taking a makeup wipe, you'll need to remove any excess glue around the brow that's not needed and repeat the same steps on the other eye. For the eyes, I'm taking some black grease makeup and applying that in a cut crease, almost outline shape. Once you've got the shape down and it's as even as you can possibly get it on both sides, then just fill it in when you're happy with it. Once the top of your eyes are complete, it's time to move on to the lower lash line. Taking an eyeliner, I'm going to tightline my waterline, then I'm going to take more of that grease paint and start to fill in the outer corners of the eye to really extend it and give it an almond shape. The completed eye shape should look something like this. Once that's done, it's time to set your brows. Take some sort of a translucent powder or a baby powder and pack that over the top of your dried eyebrows. This is going to prepare them to paint. You'll need to set your lids in place. Take a black eyeshadow and pat that over the top. This is going to intensify the colour and also stop the lids from creasing. For the colour of the mask, I'm taking green and grey grease paint and mixing that 50-50 on a palette to get a nice khaki colour. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to start applying that straight onto my face. You will need to apply a thick layer over the top of your brows, and that's going to cover them completely and give it a nice invisible look. As you can see, the glue stick method works quite well, so you shouldn't be able to see any textures of hairs. Mixing up more paint, I'm going to start outlining the shape of the mask, drawing a straight line through the centre of my forehead to define the edges from my skin. I'm also then going to define my jawline and my chin, making a nice sharp line, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of my face to a nice even thick consistency so I have a perfect flawless base. Now it's time to add dimension back into our face and highlight and contour. To highlight, I'm taking some white cream makeup and mixing that in with the base colour we already have. This is going to give us a lighter shade to highlight with. I'm going to be applying that on the tips of my cheekbones and slightly underneath my eyes, as if you usually would if you were concealing. Also bringing that down the tip of my nose bridge and the centre of my forehead and lightly blending that out. Also applying some highlight on my chin. As you guys can see, we're starting to look very three-dimensional. I'm taking a contour shade, which is my base colour, with some black mixed into it, and I'm starting to apply my nose contour to make my nose look a lot larger than it usually is. Simply apply the lines further apart and it's going to give it a more flattened effect. Continue to contour your cheekbones to give them a really chiseled look. Apply some underneath your bottom lip and some shading across the top of the mask to give it some definition. To blend out the contour, I'm taking the same brush that we used with the base coat on it and lightly buffing that into the rest of the face. I want these contour lines to be quite soft and not so harsh. The only thing I went back in and redefined was my cheek contour because I wanted that to be quite chiseled and carved. And then I took some black eyeshadow as well and lightly went over some of the contour areas to give it more of a soft, smoky look. Taking Jeffree Star's highlighter in mint condition, I'm using this to lightly bump up the areas that we've already highlighted. The cheekbones, the nose bridge, the tip of the nose, the centre of my forehead and my chin, and a little bit on my cupid's bow as well. I really wanted to just use this because I have a mint blue highlighter and a green base on right now. I felt like it was the perfect product. Once my highlight and contouring has been finished, I popped on my headband, which I just made out of cardboard. I painted it with the same cream paints I used on my face to get a perfect colour match. Then I'm going to take some black eyeshadow and run that along the border of my mask to make it look like it has a shadow where the mask is sitting off of my face. Next, I'm going to take some red cream makeup and apply this as a base coat for the blood that we're using on the mask. This is just going to be lightly mapping out the areas where I want the blood to go. It's also going to give a different variation of red, so it makes it look more realistic. The first blood I'm taking is Mayron's gel blood and applying that on my forehead in big globs, and then I'm going to spread it out with my fingers and just lightly tap it over the areas to give it a nice chunky texture. Then taking some liquid blood from Mold Life in the shade Vanil, I'm going to apply that to give this a high shine and gloss look, and this also has some brown undertones in it, so it's going to change up that red blood colour. So you could easily finish the look here and walk around as a bleeding Statue of Liberty. It's still going to be from the Purge film, but if you want to take this to the next level, I found a really simple way to create the glowing stitches without having to use expensive black lights and UV paints. The first thing you'll need is some twine or rope. Once you've got that, start to measure it up to fit your eye and also measure it up to fit your smile as well. Everything is double stitched, so make sure you cut 2 pieces of every string that you need. Then twisting the strings together, I'm going to apply them onto my face with liquid latex for my smile. Now you don't have to apply this over your lips, I only did because this is a tutorial. If you would like to wear it out, then just simply leave your lips out of the equation and just have the stitches coming out from the corners of your mouth. I'm going to be applying the 3 straight line stitches over the top of my mouth and then securing them in place with latex. Repeating that same step for the 2 X mark stitches on both sides of my smile. It doesn't have to be completely symmetrical, it looks a bit better if it's slightly off and creepy. Don't forget to give yourself a septum ring. You can make this as large or small as you like. Then it's time to move on to the X's over your eyes, again doubling up that twine and securing it in place with liquid latex. It is quite easy to see out of these. Surprisingly, I thought it wouldn't be because it is right in the center of your eye, but I could see perfectly fine out of this, a lot better than the Kiss Me mask, so I was very happy with the result. Once all of that is dry, I'm going to continue to paint it. To get the glowing effect, I simply just use some fluoro green paint from the party store. It has that permanently glowing look, which is fantastic. It's super easy and super cheap. You won't have to use any type of UV paint or black light props. It's definitely the most practical way to have the appearance of a glowing mask without spending big bucks and without constantly carrying around a black light. I repeated this step about 2 to 3 times. Because the twine is a rope, it slowly soaked up some of the paint, so to get the most intensity I just layered up the paint to get it really nice and bright. Once the face was done, I then moved on to the last piece of this tutorial, applying rope around the base of the headband like the film has and painting that with the fluoro green paint too. So that's it everybody, that is the end of my tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed this Lady Liberty look. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep up to date with my Purge mini-series. I upload weekly body paint and special effects tutorials. If you recreate any of my looks, please tag me on Instagram so I can see them. I absolutely love seeing your work. I thank you guys all so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.